Hey guys, this is Sean Sanders. Thank you so much for clicking onto my channel. So please hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. Just to let you know, you can find me on other social media platforms. You can find me on Periscope, you can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on IG, same last name, keeping it simple. So this is a bonus video. I was not planning on doing a video today, but I got something in the mail and I wanted to share it with you. So, for those of you who do not know, I've spoken on it before in the past, and I am adopted. I was in the foster care system in New York State from the time I was 9 months old until I was 12, and I wasn't put into various foster homes. I was placed in one foster home at 9 months old, and the woman adopted me. So I never shuffled around. However, nothing's changed from this time frame, but in back then, it took a long time. So to be in the foster care system and not get adopted out, even if you're available to get adopted, is not uncommon. It is a long, lengthy process regarding terminating parental rights and all of that. There's a lot of legal stuff that has to happen. It is taken very seriously to terminate someone's rights, even if it's a parent. Their rights should be terminated unless they voluntarily do it. And even then, there's sometimes extenuating circumstances. They don't go around terminating rights. So that's what took so long for me to be adopted. But I was in the same home until I left to go into the military at 17. So in many ways, I'm an exception into the foster care system. I don't have a horror story, so I'm very grateful for that. So a couple of years ago, I was on a quest to search for my birth family, my birth parents. Now, this was not my doing. I was doing it on behalf of my children. My older son, my 16-year-old son in particular, was very curious about his other side of the family. Biologically speaking, he knows his father's side. He sees them and he knows them, and he knows the cousins and nieces and nephews. However, he doesn't know any biological side of my family, and was very curious. And on his prompting, and then the other children kind of joined in on their urgency, I decided to go and search. So I will say that I had no expectations, and because in the 70s they just wasn't taking care of those types of things. Children into adoption weren't really considered having any rights. So a lot of times there were a lot of groundbreaking cases that happened in the 80s and 90s about birth children wanting to know their birth families, even if there was a closed adoption. My only thing was that it would have been nice to know medically, because my whole life I've never been able to say if there's a history of this in my family or that in my family, or to know if there's a history of cancer or something on one side of the family or the other. So that has been really the only thing I've ever been concerned of, because I don't know my medical history and I don't know what that means for me and my own children. But my children wanted me to find out, so I wanted to honor that wish and do it. So 2014, I started to look. I'm from New York State, so I went to the New York State Health Department and sent them a letter, and they gave me a form to fill out, a couple of forms to fill out, and then I submitted them back, and then they said you should go to the agency that you were in foster care. So I Googled that, and found an address, and that agency no longer exists, but there is a law firm that is handling all of the documents that and files from the agency. Sent a letter to them. They said, well, because you were adopted, your case is closed, so you need to go back to New York State Department of Health. So I took all those letters, and because what I was doing was every time I got some kind of information, I would then take all of the previous documents and make copies and send it all, so that there wasn't any kind of mistake or anything. They already had a timeline, so I was just sending all the paperwork as it came. And then so I got a letter today from the State of New York Department of Health Vital Records section. So I have looked at it, and I'll just read some of the stuff that it said. In your application to New York State Adoption Information Registry, you specified that you want the agency that handled your adoption to release non-identified information to you, encloses a report, including non-identifying information obtained from your birth certificate. Now, I didn't really get a choice. I mean, I wanted all the information that was possible, but there are still legal confidentiality protocols that have to be enforced. So I just asked them to give me what they were allowed to give me. It says here that the agency that has handled your adoption has been contacted and requests to release available non-identifying information contained in their records directly to you. The agency contact person and address are below. So it says that our records indicate that you are registered for identifying information, which means I put myself in a registry for New York State, and that if for some reason there are other relatives, other siblings, even my birth mother, if they were on the quest themselves to look for me, I have given them permission by putting myself on the registry to be found and to be contacted. So it says, therefore, the adoption registry will keep your case open. Should the adoption registry receive all the necessary registrations from the individuals involved in your adoption, you will be notified immediately by certified U.S. mail. The adoption registry hopes that a corresponding match will occur for your case very soon. So, and that was dated July 20th. So from the last correspondence that I received in the mail from November, so now it's been 8 months. So here's my life in one page, at least the beginning of my life. So I found some things that were I was pleasantly surprised. So, but I didn't really get that much more information than what I already knew. So it says, concerning the birth parents at the time of the adoptee's birth, mother was 15, father not reported. As far as nationality, well, I'll keep it short. There's no information on my birth father. Everything is not reported. So we'll just pertain to the mom. So nationality, U.S. citizen, ethnic background and race not reported. Why? I have no idea. Physical appearance, as far as height, weight, hair color, eye color, skin color, and other characteristics, not reported. Religion, claimed Catholic. Education, occupation, nothing reported. So a very limited information. I will say this, I was always told that my birth mother was 12, so I'm kind of surprised to hear 15. I feel better about that. I mean, obviously I'm born to a teenage mom, but you know, there are a lot of implications to a child giving birth at 12. So I'm a little bit relieved now that after all these years, I find out that she's 15 and not 12. So, health history of birth mother. You were born at 6:21 p.m. No health history was reported. By all accounts, I was told I was a healthy baby. But it was interesting to know what time of my birth occurred. Health history of the birth father. No health history was reported. So the last part was facts and circumstances relating to the nature and cause of the adoption. So here we go. Your father abandoned your mother prior to your birth. Your mother was young and not married when you were born. Your mother signed a voluntary surrender of her parental rights for the purpose of adoption. She did not name your father. And then it mentions about the agency that handled my adoption, and that all the information was transferred to the attorneys that are handling all the files. And then it says the agency has been asked to share with you any additional non-identifying information in their records. So that's it. That's all. So I have this information to give to my kids. So I got a phone call, so I was right in the middle of wrapping up my story. So sorry about that. Called me back into the office. So what I was going to say is that I don't think my kids are going to be happy about it, you know? I think they're going to be disappointed that they didn't get any information. But I guess the upside is that should anybody want to find out anything about me, I am there for the opportunity to learn and to find out more. So it's not a bad ending. It's a to be continued segment. So if I learn any more and it's something that I think it might be worthwhile sharing, I will share. So that's all. I've got work to do. I'm playing hooky tomorrow. I'm going to be going out with my son. We're doing the architect walk of Frank Lloyd Wright in Chicago. So that should be fun. So maybe I will tape some of it. I know that I'm allowed to take photos because I took extra, I paid extra to take photos. So we'll see. So if not, hopefully you're doing well this evening. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.